I have been exploring some new depths to Owl recently. Several years ago, Owl came to me during a vision quest at a retreat at which I created my drum. Part of the experience of that drum birthing was we took a vision quest to determine which animal would be the spirit of our drum. I assumed, as I have always been partnered with Way, my Canada goose, that of course she would be the one to fly in. She did not. There was neither song nor feather from her. Instead, Owl made herself extremely present, and she named herself May. The archetype of Owl was something I was familiar with. She was a powerful presence, studied through my early woman studies, representing the feminine divine and the power of womanhood, in her aspect of the Sophia, here seen as Lilith, and her aspects as aligned with Athena. In time, I also came to know Owl as Lakshmi's vehicle. Here Owl is a warning that while Lakshmi provides abundance, the shadow side to that is greed and avarice, the dark aspect of prosperity. In my studies prior to my croning, I came to know Owl in relationship to Hecate, wisdom that is gained only through the width of our experiences and the knowledge of life and death. In more recent years, I had the opportunity to get to know Owl a bit more through a friend's knowledge of Owl in relationship to Lodiawith. This painting, entitled Transformation, is a gift I recently bought myself, as the power of Owl in this reminded me of Lodiawith's transformation into Owl and the power of transformation for all of us. The artist is Jennifer Lester. You can see her work at wisdompathart.com. Then came the experience of the Vision Quest, a journey which brought me to appreciate the aspect of Owl which is raw and primal and beast. That vision left me with the responsibility of studying Owl and all that Owl can be, which I have done over the last several years and will continue to do. Interestingly, the spirit of May, my drum, has been Owl's aspects as I discovered them on that journey, not her aspects as I had understood her previously. Owl has come to me, through that vision and through my experiences with May, as a sense of power and doing what must be done, even when not pretty, tidy, or graceful, of seeing clearly, striking to the heart of the matter, of focus and determination that will not be swayed. It has been a very important message for me. It is about clarity of thought, focus, and follow-through. Search, swoop, and seize. A couple of months ago, I began dreaming of Owl in relationship to the male divine, and those dreams have captured my attention and imagination. She comes attending a vision of an elderly warrior king. I have seen in him several of the archetypes I have used over the years of the sage, always an older, grizzled, war-worn king. He has been showing himself to me as both wise and weary, and I have come to believe has risen up from our present earthly, war-torn landscape. He has wanted to be acknowledged, and I have been honoring him even as I have been exploring who he is. This image feels like that dream, a painting by Konstantin Valzayev, who finished this painting he called The Old Man with an Owl, just days before his death. So we come to why I have done this video, this short story about a woman and owl. It is to share a lesson in synchronicity. I have been having that discussion with a couple of you recently. We have spoken of how do we know when something we experience is a valid spiritual experience. And I have answered that it is often in the repeating of a pattern that experience takes on its deeper meaning and becomes spiritual. A simple experience of synchronicity. The backstory is that my husband did not know of my dream of the old man and the owl and how Owl has been taking on more and more significance to me. When I came home from work yesterday, he told me he had taken a picture that I might like. My green man sits on a table on our deck, and while I usually take him in each winter, this winter he stayed outside. He was covered with snow this week, and as the snow began melting, my husband was fascinated with the shape that was taking form over him. He noticed that the snow held the shape of a bird, and took a film of it for me. Before I came home, the melt had completed. Here is what my husband captured. He thought the shape looked like a bird, and of course I saw it as owl. Patterns, things which repeat, especially unexpectedly, small signs that lend their meaning to our journeys. So this is a bit about a repeating pattern in my life that comes in the night with a swoop and a screech, and it is a little bit about sharing some of what owl has come to mean to me. Delightfully, a footnote to my research which ties back into my relationship with my beloved drum is that the ancient Chinese aligned owl with drum as the sound which breaks the silence. If the owl calls again at dusk from the island in the river, and it's not too cold, I will wait for the moon to rise, then take wing and glide to meet him. We will not speak, but hooded against the frost, soar above the alder flats, searching with tawny eyes. And then we'll sit in the shadowy spruce and pick the bones of careless mice, while the long moon drifts towards Asia, and the river mutters in its icy bed. And when the morning climbs the limbs, we'll part without a sound, fulfilled, floating homeward as the cold world awakens.